Karen Weiss, and I am the mother of 3 children in the Wolf Lake. Well, actually two in the Wolf Lake Elementary School and a 6th grader in the middle school. Their names are Corbin, Caden, and Caslin. I've been with the LEAP program for about 2.5 years now, and out of my 3 children, I have 2 of them that are currently involved in LEAP. The 6th grader, Corbin, and one of my twins, Caslin. She's in the 4th grade at the Wolf Lake Elementary School. And my twins are as different as night and day. I'm going to start with this story because I think it's very pertinent to what we're talking about today. My son was very, very shy. He did not speak a word until he was 2 years old. And on the other hand, my daughter was speaking in sentences at 2, driving us all crazy. And she was wide-eyed and adventurous. She was just wise beyond her years. She was always the first one to go out on any venture, and she had her twin brother on her shirt tails. He was always lagging behind her, but he was right there beside her. And then came the first day of kindergarten, which I will never forget. My daughter would not get out of the car, and my son, who was the shy, introverted one, jumps out of the car and skips to the door, ready to be involved in school. And so that was kind of the way their school history started, and it seemed to follow that pattern. From then on, my daughter just constantly struggled to get to school, and my son absolutely loved it. He was an A and B student. My daughter struggled to make C's and D's, and she was world-wise, I guess she was so bright and intelligent when it comes to things of the world, but yet academically she was struggling very, very much so. And it came to homework time each night at our house, and my son, her twin brother, would be on a difficult day when there's 3 or 4 pages of homework. He would be done in 10 minutes and out to play with his friends. And 2 hours later, I was sitting at the kitchen table with a crying girl trying to finish up homework. It was very difficult for her. She was hurting, and I didn't feel like I could help her. Everything I tried did not work. I spoke to people, I got on the internet, I tried to see what there was that I could do that would make a difference in her life, and I could not figure it out. And as anyone here that's a parent knows, when your child is hurting and you can't help them, it's heart-wrenching. And so it was a very difficult time in my life. And she also came home from school crying on several occasions. She had missed 10 or 12 spelling words, and she was devastated. The children, her peers at school, were calling her stupid and Dumbo and all kinds of names, and she just began to get really depressed. And she would just go in her room and sit for hours at a time, and I would do what I could to try and pull her out of that shell, but she just seemed to keep going further and further in the depressed mode, and I was really beginning to get worried about her. And when she got into the 4th grade, she was in Mrs. Paul's class at Wolf Lake, and I had a meeting with her, just a yearly meeting that parents have with their teachers, and she told me that maybe I should consider getting Caslin into a tutoring session, which I had already checked into that, but the ones that I checked into were very expensive. They were just too much financially for my husband and I, on limited income, to be able to enroll her in. So she told me that her husband was actually involved in the LEAP program in Albion, and that maybe I should check into that. So I went to LEAP, and I spoke with Kathy Rorick, and she was wonderful right from the start. She told me that she would take Caslin on as her own student, and we would begin with the Wilson program, which is a learning program that I had not heard of before. And within just a short period of time, I'd say a couple of months, I noticed a huge difference in my daughter's grades. Her spelling was improving. She was starting to want to read, but she never wanted to read before, and that made me very happy because I love to read. I was hoping, you know, I read to my children when they were young, and I was hoping that I could instill that into them, and she wasn't even remotely wanting to go down that road. So when she began to pick up books on her own and read them, I was elated, to say the least. Anyway, eventually I got my son Corbin involved in the LEAP program as well because he was struggling with math. And it seems to me that the tutors in Albion, and I'm sure probably the tutors everywhere in LEAP, have the same kind of drive and passion for kids, for them to succeed academically. I can feel that heart in Kathy, and I can feel that heart in Paul. And Sean, which was my son's tutor before Paul came into the picture. And that's the same passion that I have for my children. I want them to be successful in life. And so when I feel that coming from them, I just know in my heart that I'm doing the right thing by keeping them there. And both of my children went from D's to B averages and have maintained the B average throughout this past year, which is awesome. And I am very grateful for the hope and the self-esteem that LEAP has brought back to my little girl, because it wasn't just about the academic thing there. It was getting to the point where it was really taking a toll on her bright little life. Her self-esteem was very low, and LEAP has just made a huge difference in her life. And so I wanted to take this opportunity today to tell you how appreciative I am, and to say thank you for all of the hard work that you do. It's not in vain. You're making a huge difference in little kids' lives, like my little children, and that's awesome to me. So thank you very much.